Hi, this is Certified Health Coach Susan Zartman. I'm with Take Shape for Life, soon to be Optavia. And this is week 6 of our series of studying Dr. A's Habits of Health. It's such a great resource and so important in making this a lifestyle and not just a diet. We got a great weight loss thing, but that's not what it's about. But this week's lesson is starting the second part of the book that's about your journey to optimal health, which that's the goal, is optimal health. And chapter 6 is your blueprint for safe, rapid weight loss. Hey, who doesn't want safe, rapid weight loss? I'm thankful that I had that. I personally lost 137 pounds, and it's really totally changed my life. Sorry, there's such a glare in my glasses. But anyway, I keep looking down, it's not there. This part 1, we had talked about preparing for your journey and just how our basic biological designs clashes with our environments that makes it hard for a healthy weight. So many things are stacked against us with all the fast food and processed food. It's not like back in the days of our grandparents where they grew a lot of their food and they ate it right from the fields and from the animals. But in part 2, we're going to begin the series of phases that make up your journey. And in each phase, we're going to build the knowledge, the skills, and techniques that we need to take control of our life and develop behaviors for lasting health. And we're going to be talking about energy management. And energy is about energy you consume. So the foods that we eat, that's what gives our body energy. And with our program, we use fuelings because we are fueling our bodies. And then the energy that we use, so what's the output, so our movement. And let's see here. We're looking at page 56 right now, if you were reading along in the book here. And during the before stage, you were taking in more energy than you were expending. And that was resulting in weight gain. Let me see here. I've got a little pictures. I was going to try and share my screen and give you some visuals tonight. Let's see if we can do this. So right here, this is talking about the journey that we're on. And so that first section of the book was all about preparing for our journey. And the second section here is about reaching your healthy weight. And then later on, we're going to learn those habits of health, and that's part of the journey. And then optimizing, so that we've got the tools that we can stay and continue to grow and get better all the time. And so here you can see the red line, like right up here at the top there, you get energy in. So that's the food we're eating. And before you're starting, or depending on where you are on your journey, the calories that we were taking in, the foods that we're eating, they were much greater than the energies and the amount that we were expending. So the exercise and the movement and things. And then with our weight loss phase, which is phase 1, which is where we're at, for most of us anyway, we've dropped down the amount that we're consuming, and we've got more energy out, so that helps us to lose weight. And as we go along, we'll kind of be getting those lines a little bit closer together. So the whole goal is to eventually be balanced so that what we're taking in is what's going out. And that's what helps us to maintain that weight loss and stay at a healthy weight. We don't really want to maintain. We always want to keep getting better. So as we feel better, we're going to be getting stronger and exercising more. And all those things are coming. Dr. A says his goal is to thrive alive. He wants to spend his 80s and 90s and maybe even his hundreds feeling good. So we may get older, but it doesn't mean that we have to grow old. So anyway, why is reaching a healthy weight so important? I'm going to read you a list for some of the things that he has listed here, and think about which one of these especially stand out for you. Why is it important for you to get healthy and to get at a healthy weight? To help you live longer, to improve the quality of your life, to slow down the aging process, to give you more energy and vitality, to improve your mental outlook and increase your happiness, to improve your work performance, improve your sleep, to lower your blood pressure, cholesterol, especially the bad cholesterol, and triglycerides, to lower your risk for heart attack or stroke, lower your blood sugar, to eliminate insulin resistance, to reverse and possibly eliminate metabolic syndrome, to dramatically lower your risk for developing diabetes, or if you have diabetes, arrest and even reverse its progression. It's possible. lower your risk for liver and gallbladder disease, lower your risk for varicose veins, deep vein thrombosis, and blood clots, to help you breathe better, to eliminate sleep apnea, to lessen or eliminate asthma, bronchitis, and other lung problems, to reduce or eliminate the amount of medication you use, to increase your chances of becoming pregnant. If you don't want to get pregnant, this is your warning. Be careful. Anyway, to improve the health of you and your baby during pregnancy, and to markedly lower your risk for many types of cancer. Obesity is the cause of a lot of those things that we just read, or actually all of them. It can add to it. Just a 10% reduction in your weight lowers your risk of disease by over 50%. Think of 10% of your current body weight. If you're not at a healthy weight, just by losing 10%, you can lower your risk for disease by 50%. Isn't that worth it? Wow, what an investment in your life. It says the only drawback to weight loss that I've ever encountered is that you're going to have to spend more money on a new wardrobe. Gosh, isn't that tough? So anyway, let's go on to chapter 6. Let's begin on page 59 of the book. And this is your blueprint for safe, rapid weight loss. Many plans view weight loss as an end in itself. You know, that's the whole thing. I went on Weight Watchers. I did Jenny Craig. I did whatever to lose weight. And then I would get so far and then it just didn't stick. And there's any number of methods, whether it's low carb or low fat diets, through medication, through colonics, exercise boot camps. They get you to your destination sometimes, at which point they basically drop you off. So they get you so far and then, hey, good luck. The problem with plans like these, that even if you do get through the deprivation involved and manage to lose weight, you almost immediately start meandering back to your old ways. Kind of like when a golf course tries to rid itself of a flock of Canadian geese by moving them down the way a few miles. Sooner or later, they're back. And there was one of the Habits of Health calls that I listened to this past week. And if you're not listening to those, I highly encourage you to take time, go back and start listening to those. Invest a half an hour of your day and listen to one a day until you got caught up. There's so much good information. But the thing that they said that stuck out was, you know, lean and healthy is not the same as skinny, because there are a lot of skinny people out there who are not healthy. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And then other plans take a more conservative approach, advising you to eat sensibly and be more active. Well, that's great advice if you're already healthy and in shape. But the problem here is that the sort of subtle changes that these programs recommend, they don't make enough of a difference in the short term to give you the positive reinforcement you need to continue with them. The lure of fast food and a weekend on the couch is just too strong. Dr. A spent years studying why most diets don't work on their own and why most people don't change. And as a result, he asks a very different question than most people do. Not just, what is the most effective way to reach a healthy weight, but how can I go beyond weight loss to achieve optimal health and stay healthy for the rest of my life? I believe the answer lies within our own bodies. After 30 years of medical practice, he still marvels at the human body's incredible ability to adapt to a wide range of physical, mental, and social conditions. Unfortunately, today's world is challenging these adaptations. They're overwhelming our defenses, eroding our health, and moving us down the path toward non-sickness or worse. But one amazing human attribute can help us change direction: resiliency. Get this, no matter how much we abuse our bodies, if we stop the assault of unhealthy habits and put ourselves back into position to function as we were designed, we can tap into the body's inherent capacity to heal itself. And what's the best tool we can have for doing that? The food we eat. Why, all the medicines and treatments in the world pale in comparison to the impact of eating a healthy way. And the healthy eating system that we're learning through these habits of health gives us the ability to control the quantity and quality of your energy intake. So anyway, it says, let's see what else is in here. Wish some of you guys were on here live with me so we could talk back and forth instead of me just rambling on and on. But anyway, page 60 is hey, as your body's boss, you need to fire your old energy management system. It's not working. Eating a little healthier or walking a little more isn't going to get you to your healthy weight. All those evil forces out there tempting you with calories and offering you a nice cushy ride in place of exercise are just too powerful. We live in an instant gratification society. If our pizza's not here in 30 minutes, it's free. If we have to wait more than 5 minutes for anything, we go crazy. Nope, the steady as you go approach just isn't going to work for most of us. So instead, let's use your biological design to our advantage and revamp your energy management system. So we're going to start by giving you a new eating strategy. And it's basically, if we could give you a way to lose 2 to 5 pounds of weight per week for the first 2 weeks and 1 to 2 pounds of weight per week thereafter, while keeping you from being hungry and eliminating your cravings for carbohydrates. And if a little later, after you've lost some weight, all he asks of us is 30 minutes of your time for a nice walk, will you do it? I hope your answer is yes. Let's see exactly how we're going to go about changing your energy management system to help you lose weight in phase 1. And that goes back to this chart here where we're changing that from having too much that we're taking in and lowering that so that we are taking in less than what we're expending. Our goal in this first phase is to get you to a healthy weight and a body mass index of 24.9. We'll do that by lowering your calorie intake below your energy expenditure. But don't worry, based on his experience helping thousands of people through this process, you'll still have plenty of energy and you won't be hungry. How is that possible? We're going to use the abundant stores of energy and that extra fat around your belly to turn you into a fat-burning facility. To do that, we need to alter your food intake in order to create a stable energy source, a process that taps into 2 core principles of energy management: controlling your energy intake and managing your insulin pump. So anyway, we're going to look at the typical Western eating pattern and see what happens when these core principles are ignored. So here's this. It's kind of modern life's disease path. As you can see in this diagram, the typical Western diet of highly processed, high glycemic foods, things like soft drinks, candy bars, and bagels, they cause blood sugar, which is also called blood glucose, to rise dramatically. You can see that you have some orange juice in the morning and whoo, it spikes and then it comes down below. And that little bottom dotted line, that's your base glucose. The white line here that's solid is your base insulin. And your blood glucose is that purple line that's going up and down, and then your insulin is up here in this little red dotted line. And so when you eat some of these high glycemic things that causes your blood sugar to rise dramatically, that makes the level of insulin rise. What happens next is interesting. This elevated insulin level actually causes a blood sugar to plummet, creating a rapid rise and fall that you see in the chart. So you drink the orange juice and it spikes up there and the insulin goes to work and it makes that blood sugar, the blood glucose come way down, even below the blood thing. And then you go and you eat a bagel and it goes back up and that insulin goes to work and it drops it back down. Then for lunch you go and get that burger and fries and a soft drink and whoa, it goes back up. You're just on a roller coaster all day long. You can see all that insulin that comes out, it wears your pancreas out, and that's why some people have diabetes. So anyway, as the blood sugar drops below normal, the brain sets off a series of messages that cause cravings. And soon you're scrambling for something sweet and full of calories. And so the cycle of high and low blood sugar levels continues, reinforcing eating patterns that lead to poor health and obesity. When insulin levels stay elevated this way, the body continually uses glucose for fuel rather than both glucose and fat. And when it's not used as energy, all that ingested fat, along with excess glucose and high fructose corn syrup, is laid down in fat cells. In short, you become a fat storage factory. On top of which, that huge meal right before bed keeps your body in fat storage mode through the night, disrupts your sleep, which even leads to poorer eating habits and even more weight gain. So he's got some questions on there to see if your body is currently getting into the energy by burning fat or by using quick carbs. Do you eat a lot of refined, processed foods and drinks? Hopefully, if you're on our 501 program, you're not. You're going to be answering no to these, but these might have been some of your former patterns or things that kind of keep calling your name and wanting to draw you back. Do you have a hard time concentrating or staying focused? Do you skip meals and end up eating only 1 or 2 a day? Do you struggle with cravings and low blood sugar? Are you irritable if meals are missed or delayed? Do you struggle with mid-morning or afternoon slumps? Do you have difficulty staying asleep? If you answered yes to more than a couple, you probably have a high level of insulin that's keeping you in fat storage mode and creating weight gain. How can you break that cycle? Here's a study that offers some clues. There's a myth about eating 3 square meals a day. And a study in the University of Toronto, they did a pioneer study on low glycemic eating. It demonstrates that eating small portions at frequent intervals is good for your health in a number of important, even remarkable ways. The researchers divided their subjects into 2 groups. Both ate the exact same food with the exact same number of calories, but one group ate their food divided in the usual 3 meals per day. The other ate more often, consuming lots of little meals. Surprisingly, the group that ate small meals throughout the day lost more weight. It wasn't that they were less hungry, although in fact they were less hungry. They lost weight because their blood sugar didn't continually spike and then dip down to an even lower level, the way it does after a big meal. Their glycemic levels, the amount of sugar in their blood, remained steady, and their craving for sweet foods went down. That's not all. After only 2 weeks, they found that the people who ate every 3 hours reduced their blood cholesterol by over 15% and their blood insulin by almost 28%. That's key because in addition to regulating your blood sugar, insulin plays a pivotal role in fat metabolism, inflammation, and the progression to metabolic syndrome. When your body produces less insulin, you're much less likely to convert dietary calories into body fat. Your body begins to work differently, and you're no longer the fat factory that you once were. So what does this study tell us? It's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it. Small amounts of nourishment throughout the day are better than the same amount of food concentrated in 3 big hits. If we feed the body at regular intervals, we send a signal to the body that it doesn't have to store the calories. Conversely, when we skip meals, we send just the opposite signal for the body to store calories, creating a negative effect on the metabolism. And we've had a little thing here on page 63 about the science of 6 fuelings. So with our 501 program, you're doing 5 small portion controlled, balanced, nutritious fuelings, and then a lean and green meal, so lean protein and non-starchy veggies. So what are the benefits of eating a small amount of food more often? It can help you lose weight, control hunger, reduce blood insulin, a factor in fat storage and inflammation, lower total cholesterol levels, reduce the LDL, lousy or bad cholesterol, reduce levels of apolipoprotein B, the very bad stuff, which is very bad to say, I don't know how to say it, depress glucose levels, increase bile acid secretion, suppress free fatty acid levels, reduce uric acid levels, a common risk factor for coronary heart disease, increase uric acid excretion, reduce adipose tissue enzyme levels, and reduce fluctuations in satiety or fullness. Easier for you to say, right? So now we know that eating smaller, low glycemic meals is a great way to turn off insulin and provide healthier fuel for our body. What else can help us? The patterns of success. In the intro of our book here, we learned that over 85% of those who go on a diet without other behavioral supports fail. But on the flip side, that means just under 15% succeed. What can we learn from them? Well, the study's intriguing answers, they show that data gathered from over 10,000 individuals, many of whom lost over 65 pounds and kept the weight off for at least 5 years. The weight loss methods varied, but what these individuals had in common were certain core practices that have proven critical to successfully and safely maintain a healthy weight. Here's what they did. They ate breakfast. They ate a balanced diet, paying close attention to the amount of dietary fat. They increased their physical activity quite a bit.
My web search turned something up.
I don't know what Suri's talking to me about here. And they monitored their weight regularly. So that's why we need to stay mindful. Don't stay off the scale. I know sometimes we don't want to know, especially if we've gone off plan or something. You just want to avoid it. Or whenever I've done other things before, I've not gotten on the scale. My brain went dead. All of a sudden I'm up 60 or 80 pounds. And boy, it's so much easier to lose 5 or 6 or even 10 pounds than it is to do 60, 80, 100 pounds. Anyway, so you'll want to add breakfast, lower fat content, and make sure your food is nutrient dense. Become more physically active and monitor yourselves for early warnings of weight regain. And it's an interesting section here. It talks about why exercise alone won't help you lose weight. You know, it's that diet mentality. I know I find myself, oh, maybe I'll go exercise. Well, that's not going to help you lose weight so much. That's going to help you maintain and be healthy. But to think about exercising to lose weight, it's not going to do it. So when you take in more calories than you expend, the excess gets stored as fat. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. Eating just 100 extra calories a day, a bagel, a candy bar, a soda, that translates to 36,500 calories of excess energy over the course of a year. Even if your body stores only half of that, the result is over 5 extra pounds of fat in a year. You could try burning those excess calories to exercise alone, but in order to burn just 1 pound, you'd have to run 33.8 miles just for 1 pound. And nearly a third of us have an extra 30 pounds of fat. To burn 30 pounds, you'd have to run 1,040 miles, the equivalent of 40 marathons. Wow, crazy. So anyway, let's see what else goes on here. I've got another little picture we can go to. So this one is your new eating pattern for weight loss and health. So what we want to do is have these 6 small feelings a day, and you can see on here those huge up and downs. All the spikes and valleys aren't on this chart. So when you get up, and we want you to eat within the first 30 minutes, 60 minutes at the most, a nice low glycemic index breakfast, and then you see, it just kind of goes up and down. It kind of keeps in a really baseline kind of thing and doesn't swoop down below where your glucose is. And your insulin's not going crazy. It was way up here before. And now it's just nice right along that little line there. And then you have a little fueling, a couple hours, 2-3 hours later, 2-3 hours later, another one. And you can keep doing that every 2 to 3 hours. And then a low glycemic dinner and another snacking. So things that are just always balanced. You want protein and carbs together. And that's what's going to keep you balanced. And it keeps your blood sugar and insulin levels from spiking. And let's see what else is in here. And we're talking about, creating a microenvironment of health. We talked a lot in the first few chapters here about supplementing a healthy internal, our mental process, and on knowing our why, and kind of so much is involved with the mind. But we also want to have a healthy external environment. He calls it a leptogenic world. It supports optimally healthy, fit individuals. So from the moment we get up in the morning until the time we hit the pillow at night, somebody or something is tempting us to eat. This world of nutritional pollution is hard to ignore. Over the course of many thousands of years, our brains perfected a system that rewards behavior it deems essential to our survival. Food gives us sensations of pleasure, which we've learned to anticipate and seek out. In fact, food, especially high-calorie, junk food filled with fat and sugar, affects our brain receptors just the same the way that drugs and alcohol do. And if you saw on my Facebook wall just last night, there was an article about how sugar is actually a more addictive drug than heroin and cocaine, and just how it affects us. And it's kind of scary. But it's an interesting read there, and really kind of, the more aware we are, the more we can maybe hopefully stay away from some of that stuff. But you want to start by reducing your refrigerator. So bring a trash can over to your refrigerator and get ready to dump the following foods. You can take them to your local food bank or give them to your neighbors, depending on how much you like those neighbors. So here's what needs to go. Whole fat dairy products such as milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, cottage cheese, and mayonnaise. Processed deli meats and bacon. Sugary sodas, beer and wine. Foods high in calories, fat, or sugar, including peanut butter, jellies, and salad dressings, except low fat and low calorie. And then you want to fill your fridge back up with things like fat-free and low-fat dairy products, such as skim or soy milk, or better yet, unsweetened almond or cashew milk, low-fat cottage cheese, and low-fat yogurt. So low-fat protein sources such as lean chicken and meat, tofu, hummus, and eggs. Fresh fruits and vegetables, and frozen fruits and vegetables for the freezer, and condiments such as mustards, pickles, and vinegars. You're on the 5-in-1. Some of those would not apply, such as like the fruits, and some things on there that wouldn't work. But in general, just trying to think of a more healthy kind of thing. And then perking up your pantry, go through the little cabinets, and don't use this time to be tempted to finish off that bag of cookies you find. It's better to just throw them away. A bigger waste will result from putting that unhealthy food into your body. And it's also a great time if you get children or teenagers to help them get healthy too. And then he's got a whole list of different things to get rid of and some things to put back in. And then talking about cleaning up your kitchen and your kitchen behaviors. Put away any cookie jars or food triggers that are sitting out on the counter. If you see them, you're more likely to grab them and eat them. If they're put away, out of sight, out of mind, a bit works. And then smaller plates. They support smaller portions. So put your regular dinner plates in the back of your cupboard and bring out the 6 to 9-inch salad plates. Never stand or walk while you're eating. Take the time to sit down at the table. Buy some blue placemats and plates. The color blue has been proven to decrease appetite, while yellow and red increase it. Guess where the inspiration for the golden arches came from, and why the interiors of many fast food restaurants are gold, yellow, or red. To make you salivate and increase your appetite and tempt you to buy their fat and grease-laden food. Never use serving bowls on the table. Plate your meals in the kitchen using 9-inch plates. Turn up the wattage. Bright lights have been shown to make us eat less. And then he talks about readying your bedroom to help. Having good, optimal quality sleep is critical to good health. And several studies confirm that poor sleep directly contributes to poor eating habits. And they'll go into more detail on that later on, but talking about organizing your bedroom and putting away clutter. Said don't watch TV in bed. If you have a TV, remove it or unplug it. Choose a bedtime that allows you to get 8 hours of sleep and stick with it. Keep your room cool while you sleep and never eat in bed. He talks about creating a journal where you log everything that you put in your mouth. Let's see here. There's a lot more good information in here. He talks on page 70 about a catalyst to reaching a healthy weight of the medically formulated portion-controlled meal replacements. And those are something that, as part of our program, hey, I couldn't have lost this much weight without those. They've made it very simple. They're tasty, convenient. And anyway, is anything else in here? And it teaches you a lot more about just doing more low glycemic portion control. And that's pretty much it. We've got a great system. It's proven. There's been so much research done. And anyway, I hope that gives you a little bit of background and maybe the understanding of what happens with the things that you eat and what's going on in our bodies. I know I never thought about it and still don't a lot of times think about it, but thinking, wow, when I pop that sugary whatever in my mouth, it's not just that it's going to make me fat, but it's going to be triggering off all kinds of other reactions in our bodies. But anyway, that's the conclusion for our talk on chapter 6. Next week is chapter 7. It's the catalyst to reaching a healthy weight. So anyway, thanks so much for sharing this time with me. I would love to hear from you. Are there things that are standing out to you and helpful to you? Things that would be more helpful? And I'd love to have you join me live too. But anyway, keep in touch, keep me posted, and have a happy and healthy week. Talk to you later. Bye.